Welcome to Timely Options. I'm your host, Nick Garland. It's an hour after market close, October 8th, Wednesday. And wow, what a great day for the S&P and for the broad market in general. If you follow my Twitter, which is at MilkMoneyNick, then you know for the past day or so, I've been really bullish on the Fed minutes coming out. And that made me quite a bit of money today. So if anybody else out there did that along with me, then congratulations. My big trade for the day was DAL, or Delta Airlines, but I'll go over that a little bit later. So we have this great bullish engulfing candle. We broke through and held the bottom of my 2-year channel here, just like we did last Thursday. We actually broke it and surpassed the lows of Thursday. So, I was a little bit wary of how the day was going to go, but worked out in my favor. And if you go back here, here's a bullish engulfing candle, and we got some follow through, kind of signaled the bottom, bottom of a recent correction, or sorry, not correction, but recent pullback in the market. We go back here. Here's another not quite so much a bullish engulfing, but very bullish candle that did surpass the previous day, and that wasn't a bottom of a channel, but it did signal, the beginning of a next leg up in the market. Here we are, pretty close to a bullish engulfing, boom, and this just kind of repeats itself. Here we have a little bit of rounding at the bottom. Here's a very big bullish candle, still get some nice follow through for days after. So I'm really expecting some follow through in the market tomorrow. And if not, maybe some more rounding. But I really would be surprised if we somehow pulled back in the next few days down here to the 1930s level on the S&P. And here's an hourly chart of that. Here's the break sometime around 10:30 this morning. We dipped all the way down here to 1924. Wow. And just kind of bounced from there. And look at that. That is just some incredible bullish action. Just shows me that there's still buyers out there in the market looking for good opportunities. So, I'll come over here to Apple real quick. Woke up in the day and Apple actually looked like it was gonna break to the downside off of a falling wedge. So with Apple, I have this long neutral wedge on it, and then within that, in the intraday, I have some little lines here, some bullish trend lines that kind of form a rising wedge, which can mean a bearish action falling at the point, and then conversely, here we have a nice falling wedge, and that got filled in here. And sometimes that means that you're going to get some bullishness. So today, when Apple was down here around 98.30, it definitely did not look like it was going to be a good day for Apple. It definitely looked like it was on its way to just falling down to this 94, 95 area. But it picked up, and boom! Look at this. Look at that bullishness. Part of that has to do, I'm sure, with the little tweet or little announcement that Carl Icahn's going to write a letter to Tim Cook, little love letter, I guess. But I find that Carl Icahn is one of the few unexpected news events that tends to move Apple stock. I would be careful. Tomorrow, if Apple were trading around 101.90, 101.80s area, I'd be very, very cautious. I might trim back. If you have some positions, I might trim back, take some profits there, because you do still have this long neutral wedge in effect, and so it's still going to be hard to break that. And even when the market's directional, if the market's bullish or the market's bearish, Apple can kind of just trade in its own way. Get over to the Delta. So, the big reason I did Delta is that it was one of the few stocks that hadn't recovered that I watched right before the Fed announcement. So, just like a lot of stocks out there, very bearish. I mean, look at this. You know, you go back to last Thursday, and here we are sitting around 34.41. You know, the day before we got all the way down to, what was this, 34.29, you know, and then today we actually broke 34. But here we are, right before the Fed minutes coming out here, and you know, the Delta was trading around 34. So I picked up some very risky weeklies, some 35 weeklies for 20 cents each, and then in the span of the hour, just, you know, rung the bell. Got 150% out of that, you know, that trade right there. Cracked 335, went all the way up to, what is this here, 35.33. So I mean, I could have gotten a little bit more return off of that, but you know, 150% in under 2 hours, I am not complaining on that. I'll do that any day of the week. You know, another one that I'm watching, or that I got into yesterday actually, was Zillow, because Zillow has just been, I feel, has been putting in some pretty strong reversal signs. I mean, look at that. Right now, it's kind of hard to see, but the DEMAs are just pinched, and so is this. You have this bearish trend line, and it's running right up against the 200-day moving average, right at the 110 area. So I feel that Zillow is just, you know, going to be headed pretty straight, or at least with some conviction, straight to the 123 area in the next 2 weeks. So hopefully that's going to work out for me. Never know. I always have a stop in place, you know, just to guard myself. Don't want to take any huge losses on that. So we'll see how that pans out. Another one is Solar City. Solar City I like as a stock, you know, just because of the beta on it. I mean, if the market turns positive, you know, and is moving along at like 0.5%, you can have Solar City just right there moving 4 and 5% a day, you know, or even moving against the tide in the market. Overall, I think that we do have, and this is convenient, I think we do have a little bit of time for Solar City to bake, maybe 2 more days, 3 more days. So what's nice about that is that in the meantime, some follow through, I can collect some profit on some other stocks, and then I can close some of that out when it's ready, when I feel good about Solar City, and I can pull the trigger on it. You know, Solar City actually yesterday made new lows compared to last week's Thursday, that really bearish Thursday, and then today it made another low on it. So that's the only thing keeping me from taking a significant position right now in Solar City, is just how bearish it's been. But on the hourly here, intraday, this is a 3-week, 15-minute chart. We have a falling wedge right here. And Solar City has behaved within that wedge for the most part. You know, it kind of broke out that Friday after the Thursday, the bearish Thursday. But it just couldn't hold. It got rejected at the 60 level. So let me just put a little price line in there, right at 60. You know, it might be hard to see, but you have it tags it here and then just falls. It tags it the day before, it falls. You know, and then now what I've done, and what I've done with a few stocks, is on the intraday, put up a speculative 2-zone channel. And you know, and I say this is speculative because there's just not a lot of history yet to actually prove that this is a real channel, you know. But it never hurts. It never hurts to have some speculation. And you know, if you're bullish, try to pick out a range that you think would be reasonable for this stock to trade within, just to time your trades. So I have some alerts kind of in the way here. But today you can kind of see Solar City. Yesterday, if you follow my Twitter, you know that I got triggered right when Solar City hit near $54 yesterday. I got triggered on a buy, and then this morning, right when the market opened, it was right over 56. So I got triggered on a sale, and you know, that worked out. I made 75% on it. But I bought that. I think it was 70 cents, and then it fell this morning, all the way down until just after 11 a.m. Central Time. We're here at 53.57. I mean, I would have definitely been hurting had I held on to that, And then, of course, right after the Fed, here we go, just kind of starts skyrocketing. But it's still, is in this first zone of this speculative channel. So I don't really know what's going to happen with Solar City. Because it's been so bearish and because it's been so consistent, putting in lower lows and lower highs each day, I don't have a lot of expectation that Solar City could suddenly be up at $60 tomorrow, but you never know. I mean, I don't have any kind of huge position in Solar City, so it's not going to hurt me either way. But I kind of want to let it play out. Now, if on Friday, if we just had a pretty modest day up tomorrow in Solar City, like up to 58, and then say it just compressed and pulled back to around 57 by Friday, I'd probably take on a position. I'd probably take on like for me, a pretty significant position, say somewhere between 5 and 10% of my portfolio, just to see if on Monday I got a little pop out of it. I feel that from 57, speculatively, that it could go up in that week all the way up to 62, possibly the 64 area. Because once Solar City starts moving, I mean, like I mentioned, it really moves fast. So, you kind of have to be ahead of the curve on it. Oops, move the window. But anyway, that's it for now. We'll see how tomorrow plays out. If we get some follow through and some compression, personally, I would love it if we just kind of plateaued for a little bit, like time corrected through Friday. I tend to think of the market like a battleship, so it's very rare, for the entire market to just dip all the way down and then correct course. When you step back and you look at the daily, I do see that we've kind of rounded out pretty nicely, and I really like it for other stocks to form more rounded bottoms before I really put in big positions in my portfolio. But that's it for today. Have a good night.